Welcome back to His and Hers Movie Podcast, aka Double HMP. I am one of your hosts, JP, podcasting out of Southwest PA, and joining me tonight, as always, is my esteemed co-host, Carly, podcasting also out of Southwest PA. What's going on, Carly?
Not much, not too much at all. What is going on with you?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit tired tonight. I am exhausted.
Yeah, I feel that, honestly. I had a pretty rough day at work. It was one of those days that just dragged on forever because you wanted it to end, so it just kept on going on. And, yeah, I'm a little bit tired myself, but we are here, and that is all that matters.
Yeah, we're here for episode number 4, which is another movie. We took a little hiatus last week from movie talk, and well, there was plenty of movie talk. That was definitely probably the longest episode we'll maybe ever do. But this week we are reviewing a theatrical horror film that just came out this past week called The Turning, and we we'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, that's gonna be something. So yeah, it is The Turning, based on The Turn of the Screw, which is a novel, I believe.
Novella from, I believe, 1898.
You're correct. It is a
which
novella.
I memorized. Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
So, what's new with you?
Not too much. As I said, I had a pretty rough day at work, but besides that, over the weekend, I was kind of a chill weekend. I did another little, what I call a horror hunting video, which is just like a ripoff of Out and About videos, but doing those for my YouTube channels, and, I enjoy doing those. I go to thrift stores and look for stuff, but of course the thrift stores around here don't really have a lot to offer, so a lot of the times I kind of come up empty, but that's kind of become a new hobby of mine, and it seems like something people enjoy on my channel, so that's what I did on Saturday. Didn't really have a lot going on, so figured I would do that, and I also incorporated some door dashing / well, it was more like Grubhubbing into that. In case people don't know, that is, of course, that delivery service similar to Uber, where you pick people up randomly, or you decide to be like a volunteer taxi driver. This is like volunteer delivery driver. Yes, of course. So did a little bit of that for some extra money, and then on Sunday I went and hanged out with Mr. Austin from the Movie versus Movie horror podcast, aka a friend of mine in real life as well. So that's about all I've been doing besides just kind of hanging out and doing the usual, watching movies and whatnot.
I noticed there's a train going on in your area right now.
Yeah, there is. It's that 6:56 p.m. train. What are you going to do?
Does that happen every 6:56?
It seems to happen every time we go to record or while we're in the midst of recording. So I noticed trains are super popular, unfortunately, right outside my window. But yeah, that's what I get for picking a place that's not at all in a secluded area.
Yeah. So yeah, I also did a little bit of dashing as well. We do that from time to time, make a little bit of extra bread.
Yeah, collect that bread.
Yeah, and I stopped at one of our, I guess it's not really a thrift store, but it's a used retro game and movie store. It is called Cash in Culture. There once was, I believe, 5 of them in the area.
I think 5 or 4. I think there was 5.
Yeah, and now I think there's 2.
Yeah.
Because they slowly but surely shut down one by one. And I was a little bit bummed that ours was shutting down, because I thought it was healthy enough to stay afloat.
See, I don't know. I feel like for years, that's the thing though too. For years, I feel like I would go in there and there'd be no one else in there. But since that was happening for years, I thought, oh, I guess they're doing not that bad if they've been open this long. But Yeah, it's a shame. That's what inspired my little horror hunting video the other day, is because I also stopped in there after you did. You let me know that there were indeed a lot of items left that needed to be sold. It was the last day, and I figured why not go in there. Didn't really expect to find too much since, of course, they weren't getting anything new in, but I did end up buying the first four Paranormal Activity films on Blu-ray for a grand total of $13. So I thought that was pretty good. I didn't own any of those movies, and I've been wanting to kind of rewatch them because they're not my favorite, but I never thought they were super bad either, like some people do. So I was kind of happy to pick those up. But yeah, it's a shame because that's like probably the most, exciting store that for us at least, that we have around here when it comes to secondhand DVDs and such. And the
Yeah.
other ones are pretty far away. Not super far, but like inconveniently far away for us.
Yeah, it bums me out because this is a store that I've been going to for 10 years. I
Mm.
actually used to go to it with my friends Abby and Bruce and Steve and Angel back before I even knew you, before I even worked in the area. We used to go to that one and the one in Century 3. Is there one in Century 3?
Yeah, inside the mall, that's another one that's obviously closed down because
Oh,
that
that
whole
one's
mall kind
closed
of
too.
went under. Yeah, that whole mall
Yeah,
like is
I'm
shut
not
down
good
now.
with the locations and stuff. Yeah, we used to go to the
Yeah.
Century 3 one and that one. But yeah, it was a pretty cool store. It was called Cash and Culture. It primarily was a video game thing. That seemed like what they focused on heavily, retro games. And they did have a big movie selection too, as well as like action figures, sometimes comic books, um, shirts, and a bunch of other, you know, retro themed things.
Yeah.
And this one in our area, it was really the only place to kind of get used movies. And they would get a lot of the basic stuff, like um, Silent Hill or something, you know what I mean? Or like Nightmare on Elm Street, like the basic of the basic things that you see everywhere.
Hmm.
But every once in a while, they would have some stuff that was a little bit more obscure, some Blue Undergrounds or some Synapses or some like Italian flicks and stuff like that. And we would go to this one and get DVDs here and there. And they always had the sticker price was always about what it would cost online. But then
Hmm.
if you bought like three, they would knock $2 off of each title. So it would be a little bit under what you could get online sometimes. And sometimes stuff was way overpriced though. Like if there was something that was like slightly out of print, like or even like sometimes I would see stuff that wasn't even like Manhattan Baby or something that was like $10 but it was like the DVD and
Hmm.
it's just like that's too much for that movie, the old Blue Underground. But I enjoyed going to that store a lot. We would go like I don't know, maybe every other month or something like that because you got to let it have time to like rebuild stock.
Yeah.
But we would get like anything that was like cooler, more oddball, and I actually got quite a lot of good stuff there, and then like the regular catalog titles too would be there a lot. Like I got like all the Planet of the Apes movies, like the newer ones. I got all those for like $6 on Blu-ray and stuff like that. I got a few 4Ks there. Uh, it was cheaper than getting them new and stuff like that. But this final day, I did buy some things. They actually had a dollar section, and I kind of picked through that a little bit. Um, which I know you didn't really look at it too much. I pretty much took mostly everything that was worth anything before you got
Yeah, I
there.
figured most of the stuff would have been picked through. I looked through like one of them, but I already kind of picked my four movies, and I thought, good enough.
Okay, so here's what I got. I got The Broken, which was from the third series of 8 Films to Die For. That was $1. Which I collect those. I don't actually. I have the whole fourth season, but I don't have. I have about half of the first, and then just a couple from the second and third. But that might be only the second of the third that I got, which is the third is the weakest of the 8 films to die for. And then I picked up Darkness Falls on DVD, which I actually like that movie. It's like about Killer Tooth Fairy kind of thing.
Yeah, I've only ever seen like the beginning part of that movie. I never watched the whole thing all the way through, I don't think.
I've always liked it. It reminds me of The Tooth Fairy, which is another movie that came out around the same time. And then I grabbed Lake Placid 3 because I had the first two, I think. So I grabbed that for $1 as well. Komodo, which is a it might have been a made-for sci-fi movie from the early 2000s. Grabbed that because I do like those movies. They're not like the Sharktopus versus giant tentacle Rex or whatever. You know, they're a little bit more serious. So I picked that up. That's a title that I've seen places a bunch, but never for $1. So if it was like $3, I wouldn't have bought it. But $1, sure, why not? And then I grabbed Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King for $1.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I was dumb and bought Anacondas for $1. The sequel, this, what is it? The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. That is, I actually saw that in the theater or in the drive-in in the Brownsville drive-in back when it played with, I think, like Open Water or something. I think it was Open Water and Anacondas. So I actually liked that one. But yeah, so that was $1. But I was dumb because I already own it. I'm looking at it right now.
I have that Broken movie. That's not the one with the cover where it's like the cut going through the
Nope,
belly.
that's from the Dimension Extreme line.
Okay, I was gonna burst your bubble and be like, you already bought that one too before, but that's good.
Speaking of Dimension Extreme line,
Ooh.
I actually got one that I didn't own called Hell Ride. So that was $2, I think. Regular $5, but it was half or 60% off. So I think it was like $2 or something. And then I got
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, 1 second. I got Cheech and Chong's Still Smoking. Because me and Moods were just talking about those movies on a podcast, I think, and I was like, man, I really want to revisit all those Cheech and Chong movies one day. I know me and you watched the first one once.
Yeah,
Or
I think
no,
it was on.
It was not the first one. It was another one.
It was on VHS. It was the one where they like take all that gas at the
Oh, it
beginning.
was Cheech and Chong's next movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that VHS sitting next to me. And then I got Butterfly Effect 2 for $1, which the third Butterfly Effect is part of the third After Dark series. So I didn't own the second one. I've never seen the second or third one, but I figured, what the hell? I'm going to end up getting the third one, so I might as well own the second one eventually.
Now, wait, do you put the After Dark movies all together on your shelf?
Yes.
So what are you going to do when you get the third Butterfly Effect, like, on your shelf?
Well, it will be part of After Dark, and then Butterfly Effect 1 and 2 will be next to each other.
That would bother me.
And then I got Survivor, the seventh season, the Pearl Islands one. That's been there for years, and I've always looked at it, and I've always considered buying it because I own the first 3 seasons of Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And that particular season, there's a couple of seasons that are really cheap. The first, second, and I think in like the 7th and 8th or something are all really cheap, and maybe like 10th or something, because they used to release them on regular DVD, but then they started doing this manufacture on demand thing from Amazon, and they're all like $30 like a season.
Jeez.
So the other seasons are really hard to get. I have like one of the expensive seasons, but yeah, I'm a huge Survivor fan. Not a lot of people know that. about me, but I've watched every single season multiple times. And I'm super, super excited for the 30th season, or sorry, the 40th season that's about to come out next
Mm.
month called Winners at War. It's an all winners season, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm super into Survivor, have been forever. So I figured I would grab that because it was normally like $8 and it was 60% off. So, I got it really cheap.
So you've looked at it every single day and thought one day this place will go out of business and I'll get it finally.
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
I did think like, hey, maybe I'll get it one day. But yeah, I
Yeah.
I would didn't if I would have been fine never getting it because I actually have like the Hulu and like most of the seasons are on Hulu anyway, so it's like kind of
Yeah.
defeats the purpose these days. And then I got a couple of Blu-rays, which were a little bit more expensive. I grabbed Krampus finally. I only owned it on DVD, surprisingly. So I went ahead and grabbed Krampus finally, the Michael Dougherty one, which is a good movie. We just watched it this past Christmas.
Yeah, and I actually got it for Christmas from Austin, funny enough, on Blu-ray. So I own it too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I finally bought Piranha, like the not the old one, the remake,
Yeah.
the Alexander Aja one. Uh, I liked it when I first seen it, and I've seen it a few times and I've liked it, but I've just never owned it. It's like a catalog title too that you would expect to own eventually, but I just never ever ever owned it, and I finally bought it because it was like $3 or something on Blu-ray. And then I bought The Fourth Kind on Blu-ray, which
Mhm.
is a mockumentary.
I remember hearing really bad things about. I remember I wanted to see that one back when it came out, and then I heard all this really bad stuff about it.
I know my friend Martin really liked it.
Really?
Yeah, but he's really into aliens and stuff, so I've always wanted to see it, and I was a little bit iffy on it because I was like, I think I might own this. Do you want to guess if I do or not?
I'm gonna say you don't.
I do.
Oh,
I own it sealed.
oh! Just
So
give
I
it to
bought a
me.
used copy of The Fourth Kind and a used copy of Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, and I already owned them both.
Dude, that makes me sick. Like, I'm
Dude,
so
I keep
glad.
doing it. I have an app on my phone that has that you scan your barcodes and it catalogs your titles that I
Mm,
paid like $10 for, and I don't have that. I only have 1,000 of my movies scanned, but that's not even. I'd probably say I have at least 4,000 movies, at least. I might even have more. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't have that much. But anyway, I have a lot of movies, and I only have like 900 of them scanned on there. So I think I only have that, and then all the DVDs on my main shelf, and then all my Scream Factories. But I
Mm,
don't have anything else scanned on there. So
a pain in the
um,
butt.
yeah, it is. That is super annoying. So yeah, I bought two things that I already own, but that means that you're gonna get two things that I already own
Yay. Yeah,
eventually.
I'm glad. Like, I feel like I buy so much stuff, but even then I look at my collection and it doesn't seem nearly as big as like yours or a lot of other people's, and I'm glad I'm not to that point yet, because I'll be so mad when I eventually inevitably buy something that I already have.
Yeah, I do it every once in a while. I did it again too with Lovely Molly. I bought that maybe a month ago, and I already had
Uh,
it.
yeah, you could give me that one too. I hear good things about that, and I've been wanting to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. I've seen. It's not like, amazing, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so weird, man. I'm just like, how does this keep happening to me? I remember the very first time it happened to me. It was Cursed. I bought Cursed, Wes Craven's Cursed, and I already owned it.
Jeez.
And then I remember I bought I Joyride recently, or like
Joyride
Joyride
3.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it again. the same month I bought Cabin Fever Patient Zero, and I already own that.
It's always like dumb movies too,
Yeah,
which makes sense because they're
it's
forgettable.
Cabin
So
Fever 3 on Blu-ray, but I already owned it on Blu-ray.
yeah.
See, it's not so bad if I buy it on Blu-ray and I only had it on DVD. Then I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to double dip on this, but I guess it's okay.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that was in the 2 month span, pretty much.
It sucks.
I'm tired of doing that. I got to get this app thing together. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is rough, but yeah, that's a lot of. Do you know how much total do you have there that you bought?
Movies?
Yeah, and then do you remember how much they all cost too, by chance?
I bought 9 DVDs, 3 Blu-rays, and 1 season of a TV show.
Dang.
So like 13 things. I don't remember.
I was just curious, but that's a
I
pretty
think I
good
paid
haul.
$7 for dollar DVDs.
Hmm.
I would probably say the Blu-rays were like 3 each, 3, 6, 9. It was like $22 or something.
Don't you wish that like they would just have random big sales like this and the place wasn't going out of business?
Yeah,
And
'cause
like
if
they
they
would just
did
do this like
that-
once a year or something.
Yeah. Well, I always thought that if that place actually priced, because I know what they pay for this stuff, because I tried to sell some stuff there before,
Oh yeah.
and they pay like I had some PlayStation games, which easily are $5 to $10 games each, and they wanted to give me like 47 cents for all of them or something, and I was just like, yeah, no. But I'm like, you're talking about like hundreds, if not thousands, of markup. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's like if they just sold them like a little bit below what they got online, like they probably would have done well.
Yeah, I agree. It is a shame, but what can you do? I just remembered I actually bought my PS3 that I still own and still works. I bought that used there. Pretty sure I probably overpaid for it, but I really wanted a PS3, and that's where I got it.
Brick and mortar stores kill themselves because they're putting stuff for online prices, which online is way more convenient, so people are just going to buy it online.
Yeah,
Like when you go into a store, you want a deal.
yeah. I hope the other two stay alive. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Because
I
one of them
actually-
started selling VHS.
Yeah, I do like that, but they're a little bit overpriced too.
True.
And then or wait. I can't remember. Which one has that retro room that we went into?
That's CD Warehouse, which is
Okay.
pretty
There's
much
a
like the
little
same
bit
store.
overpriced. I think the ones at Cash and Culture were actually fairly priced.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the ones at Cash and Culture might have only been $1, which is what you can get, at
Yeah,
Goodwill.
that's
So,
what they should be. You know what I mean? They're VHS, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like $2 max, and like maybe for like something rare 5 or something. But it's like people. There's not a lot of people out there like that are dying for VHS. Same thing with some of those DVDs, dude. Like okay, you have a copy of, something like Fright Night on Blu-ray, the remake or something. Like, don't charge $8 for it. It's just stupid. Nobody wants to buy Fright Night for that price. Like $4 on Blu-ray. Okay, we could talk. But yeah, it bums me out. I hope the other two stores do last. We haven't been to the one ever.
Yeah, that one is actually in Monroeville, which we've been to a few times, but it's a little more out of the way. I don't think it's that much more out of the way, but we just don't really go to that area too much, and it's kind of a pain to get to. But we should go out there because I know actually the half-price books. There's 2 half-price books in the area, and one of them is out there as well, and I've never been to that one either. I've been to the one that's like by the theater we just went to the other day, which was a new theater we went to, but not the one in Monroeville. So we need to venture out to that area more.
Yeah,
They might
we're-
have some other cool stuff.
We're gonna have to do that one day. But
Hmm.
yeah, so that unfortunately our store died, and now there's like nothing.
Yeah. I wonder if there's, and they'll probably put something stupid in its place, as they do in that town. But yeah, there's nothing. There's a
Yeah,
pawn
it'll
shop in
probably
Mount
be
Vernon.
like a fucking or damn it. I'm trying not to cuss on here.
You're breaking your own rule.
I
You
know.
like scolded me, and now you're the one.
They're probably gonna put like O'Reilly's Auto Parts or something.
Yeah. We don't like O'Reilly's article. There's literally one across the street.
I know. It just I made that joke because there's 3 auto parts stores in like a small vicinity, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, why?
Yeah, that whole area, honestly, they take out cool stuff and then they replace it with like either a gym, another dollar store,
Well,
or an auto parts
let's
store.
back up here because they did the coolest thing they've put in there, like in the history of the place, was the Planet Fitness that they put in there. Like that's I love that place. Like so that is a great thing that they put in. Before that, the best thing they put in was Taco Bell.
True. Everyone loved that Taco Bell though.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I understand. Like Planet Fitness is obviously the most popular gym for people who enjoy working out, which I do not. I've never stepped foot in a gym, so that doesn't matter to me. But the point still stands. There's already like 2 gyms right in that area, and then they're like, "Hey, let's put in this gym." But I do understand it is like the superior gym, but still, I just want some cool stuff. That's all I
Yeah.
want,
Yeah, I get what you're saying a little bit.
a little bit.
I just like they do put like I don't want a Peebles or something, you know what I mean? It's
Oh,
just
that
like
place is there is a Peebles and it's going out of business too, actually, right now.
yeah, Shannon told me that.
Yeah, everyone at work's been like raving over it. I might actually go there and try to get some fancy schmancy clothes, but yeah, that's going out of business. I'm surprised that place even lasted because it was expensive and it's just a random department store in the middle of a random area like that. But yeah, that is the summary of the town over from us.
Mm-hmm. We did our town, our hometown. Well, it's not your hometown; it's where your current home is town.
Yeah.
But like, it's my hometown. We just got a Sheets,
Yeah, that's actually pretty miraculous for this area, I will say.
and we got a Dollar Tree.
Also, pretty that was something I was very happy with because I like Dollar Tree. I like to buy, the basics at the Dollar Tree, and it's a Dollar Tree with an actual freezer section, which I'm sure most Dollar Trees have, but the one in my hometown did not have one. So I was pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, get your pizza rolls on.
Yeah, I love pizza rolls.
Um, yeah, and they actually sell movies for $1. By the way, I did stop up there this past week, and they
Mhm.
had nothing. Thanks a lot, Carly.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they were having nothing at that Dollar Tree for quite a while, and then I stopped up there the other day, and they had a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays, and it wasn't just the same one over and over again, which is what they had like Assassin's Creed something. They had a million copies of that for a while, but this time around they finally had all those magical Blu-rays and DVDs that people have been raving about, that being The Gallows and like what else did I even get? I got the Thompsons and there was some other cool stuff there
By the
too.
way, the Thompson sucks.
Yeah, I hear it's like
Have
because
you
it's a
ever seen the
sequel.
Hamiltons?
No, I think I've actually seen the Thompsons though before, and I remember thinking it sucked, but I was there and I was like, oh, a dollar horror movie. The Dollar Tree's
Yeah,
the
I
only
would have
place where
still
I would,
bought it, but
yeah, like if it's a dollar, I'll probably buy it no matter, even if I know it's horrible, just because that's how I am, and I'm like, I'm at the Dollar Tree and I'm gonna get it. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that
um,
that movie is actually pretty bad though. But the Hamiltons is good.
that's what I hear. That is what I hear. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Dollar Tree having movies. I mean,
Do you know
it's
where the
right.
Hamiltons is from?
No.
It is part of series 1, 8 Films to Die For.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I never seen, like I said, I never seen, I think I saw the Thompsons like on streaming years ago, probably when I don't know how old that movie is, but I was definitely like in high school or middle school when I saw that,
Well,
and I
I
was
could
like,
tell
this is
you
awful.
that it's one of the first films I reviewed on 22 Shots, like in one of the first What We Watch segments, probably within the first like 3 episodes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must have been back then, probably around that time.
Yeah,
But
because I think it just recently came out when I reviewed it.
hmm.
But, so, um, guess that's our intro talk. What
I would say so.
did you watch anything this week?
Um, let's see, what have I watched? Watched a few things. I watched The Beyond again, Fulci's The Beyond.
Hmm.
That, yeah, the Fulci movies I've seen, I will say I like. That one, however, it's not that I don't like it, but it's probably my least favorite of the ones that I've seen by him. But I still think it's a good movie, and I think it's got some good, gross out moments and some good creepy moments to it. So, I do dig it for that. Then I
But
watched,
it has such a good end.
yeah, yeah, the ending is like disturbing to me. It freaks me out, just the whole concept.
Yeah, I don't love Fulci, but I was actually looking, and I do rate a lot of his movies like higher. Um,
Mhm.
I would say that the Beyond. I've only seen it that one time, and I liked it, but I really like City of the Living Dead and Zombie and New York Ripper. Those are and Don't Torture a Duckling. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I liked New York Ripper and Zombie. Those are probably the best in my book. But yeah, and then I checked out The Craft, and that was only a second time watch. The first time I watched it was with you way back like 3 years ago, so didn't really remember it a whole lot, and I
That's when
really
I
dig
was
that movie.
prepping for the 1996 show.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But I remember I liked it back then, but I didn't really remember many details of it, and I dig it. It's a solid, fun movie. I like how it's kind of like it's fun at first, and then it just like kind of turns really dark towards the ending with what all goes down. So that was that. And then I watched Ma. I actually rewatched Ma from last year because I got it on DVD as a Secret Santa gift, and I thought, what the heck? I've been looking at it on my collection. And I thought like I just watched this last year, but then I kind of wanted to watch it again, and I'll say I liked it just as much. That is a really good movie. It deserved to be in my top 10, and gave it the same rating of 8.5 that I gave it, I believe, on the top 10. But yeah, Ma, that's a good one. That's one that I would rewatch a lot, honestly.
Hmm. Yeah, glad that it held up. I'm always worried about that with stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I barely watched anything since we recorded. When did we record? I feel like we just recorded.
Yeah, last week. Well,
What?
I forgot I watched Amityville 6 as well because you were watching that in the background whenever you called me the other day, and I thought, I'm gonna watch this again. And I don't like it as much as part 4, but I think it's like a better made movie, but I think it's not as entertaining.
Mm.
So that's kind of how I feel. But yeah, I mean, you figure we only just recorded a week ago, so probably not gonna get a lot
Yeah,
of
but
watching
what
in, I
was it
guess.
like? It was it a full week ago, or was it less than a week ago?
I'm pretty sure it was, wait, that was exactly a week ago.
Dude,
I
what
think,
the heck did I watch? What did I do? I don't
I
remember
don't know.
anything. I don't remember this past week at all. It's like a
Yeah.
blur to me. Yeah, I was kind of busy. Like a couple of days, I didn't get home until like late, and I didn't really watch anything.
Hmm.
Um, oh, I watched fights and stuff too. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it was just a week where I didn't really watch a ton. I watched this stuff for the podcast, like 22 Shots, which I watched. You got to remind me what I left off on last week because I don't remember.
I don't have a good memory either.
But you have to.
Okay, I will from now on, then, dude.
Because I'm never going to remember. What was the last thing I talked about last week?
Um,
Did I talk about Antichrist?
no, I don't think you did. What was before Antichrist, though? Do you have like a list
Yeah,
thing?
Voyage from the Bottom of the Sea, which I talked about.
Okay, then no, I don't believe you talked about Antichrist because you told me about it personally, but I
Mm.
don't recall it being on the pod.
Okay, so in terms of my collection, going through stuff that I haven't watched before or opened, um, Antichrist was a title that I got to, which you might hear us actually talk about in February because it seems to be winning the poll that we're doing, which we could talk about that in a second too. But um, yeah, the that was actually a pick for 22 shots, so you'll hear that review probably tomorrow or the day after um, for 22 shots new episode. But yeah, Antichrist, Lars von Trier movie. Actually, pretty weird movie, I will say.
Hmm.
Um, very. I could see why it has like a disturbing. It's like on the list of disturbing movies. I mean, if you've seen a bunch of disturbing movies, you'll probably be like, "Oh, that was kind of tame," but it still actually affected me. So I definitely recommend checking that movie out. That movie's crazy. And then I don't remember if I mentioned. Did I say that I was watching the Amityville films last week?
Yeah, because you brought up part four.
Okay, so I did talk about part four then. I also got to part five, which is because I'm going through the box set from Vinegar Syndrome.
Hmm.
Part five is wait, is that part five or is it part six?
The 1992 one?
Yeah,
That is part six.
yeah, because
I
part
got those straight up.
five, the Amityville Curse, wasn't included in the box set.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So, Amityville 666, It's About Time. I watched that one. Dude, I really like that one. It's very fun. They get a cuckoo clock basically, or I don't even think it's a cuckoo clock, but it's a clock. And it just causes some mayhem in the house because it's a haunted object. And similar to the lamp from the previous film,
Yeah,
uh, it, like the daughter gets all like hoed up and kills this dude she's seducing, and then like the dad is going all Jack Nicholson, and he's like practically going crazy, and he gets bit by a dog, and his legs
that
grotesque.
fight is. Yeah, I was just gonna use that exact word. Yes,
Yeah,
grotesque.
there's some underrated little gore effects in that one. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I dig it. It's fun. I like the Amityville sequels.
It's got a
Uh,
great final line to it too.
yeah, yeah. And then I started the new generation, which I guess is the seventh Amityville, and I could see just right away I could tell what you were talking about, how it just feels different. It
Hmm.
almost to me feels like a like how Hellraiser 3 feels from like Hellraiser 2.
Yeah.
But it was about a haunted mirror this time, but I started watching it. I didn't
Ugh.
I fell asleep last night watching it. And then besides that, I did watch some other stuff for the 22 shots, but I didn't own them in my collection. I watched Black Devil Doll from Hell, which you guys could hear our full review on there. And then I watched Tales from the Quad Dead Zone, which also you could hear our full review on 22 shots of those. But yeah, that's all I got to. I really only, if you really think about it, I only got to like 2 titles this week from my collection. But I do plan on hopefully watching some more this next week. So yeah. Yeah, I mentioned here a second ago that we are possibly doing Antichrist on the show, or at least talking about it. So, in February, we plan on doing a double feature on Valentine's Day. So those of you who might not know, I'm kind of on a like keto diet right now. which I've done before. I've talked about it on 22 Shots, I think. I've done before, and lost like a bunch of weight. I don't do it like permanently like some people do. I just do it for like a month, and then I get off of it. So February 5th, I'll be off of it again. And then on the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, we will be doing a double feature at Carly's house. And we are doing dinner, too.
Yeah, stack.
Yeah, we're eating some stack, or AKA steak.
Yeah.
We call it stack.
Yeah, stack.
But I told you you're not allowed to have a stack.
I don't understand why.
Because you were not a good girl.
I can try harder, I swear.
Okay, but
For
as
the
of right
stack.
now, no stack.
Oh, okay.
You can have a pork chop.
I don't want pork chops.
You're
Such a There's
what?
a crime going on outside. Because, dude, like, pork chops suck. They just do. Like, that's so, like, they don't suck, but in comparison to stack, it's like, yeah, it's like eating a peanut off the floor versus eating lobster. You feel?
I feel.
You feel?
So, what we're gonna do like a dinner. I'll be off of my diet, so I'm gonna by that
Ketosis.
time I will do a little bit. You know, I'll wean myself back into carbs and stuff like that. But we're gonna do some fettuccine Alfredo,
Yeah.
some steaks, rare to medium rare. We both eat them like that.
Yeah, I used to not, and then I learned.
What's going on? You got like a fire truck happening?
I don't know, dude. Ghetto, I don't know.
It's a ghetto.
It is.
Oh, jeez, mute that.
What?
Mute it. Dude, that is so awful. You got like, you're like, got real life GTA at your house.
I know, dude. I didn't take that into account when I agreed to rent this place. I just looked at the apartment. It was my favorite one that I'd looked at because all the other ones I'd looked at prior to that were pretty crappy and tiny, and this one I just thought was awesome. And then, like, I remember as soon as I got the keys and, like, I came in here just to, like, scope the place out alone one day, I was panicking. I was like, oh my God, my podcasting career is over.
You're like 3 blocks from a police station.
It's
2
over
blocks,
the hill from
2
me.
blocks,
Yeah.
I would say. And about 3 blocks from a fire department. Maybe 4.
Yeah.
4 blocks.
I just look out the window and can see the fire trucks coming. Yeah.
And you're next to like a heavy train area, and yeah. But so yeah, and French fries and cheese or steak fries. I don't know. We'll do something. Steak and mushroom. Like, I can't wait. Like, I want to eat that stuff now.
Yeah, I love food. Like,
I know.
I hope I never get really fat because I don't think I could ever diet.
It makes eating great again once you're like come off of it. But so we're doing a double feature for Valentine's Day, and everybody's like, we asked for suggestions, and everybody's like, do My Bloody Valentine, original and remake, because Valentine's Day, which is normally what most people would do. But we're actually seeing My Bloody Valentine in the theater before Valentine's Day, so we don't really feel like watching it again. We might as well do something else.
Yeah.
So I put a poll up, and if you're not in the group page, hop in there, His and Her Movie Podcast, and vote on the poll. So I titled all these. So we have a classic love story. It was Bram Stoker's Dracula and Phantom of the Opera, the the Robert Englund one. Sorry. Have you seen either of those?
Yes. I've seen Bride of Frankenstein.
Well, I didn't say either of those. I didn't.
I wasn't paying attention.
You're an ass.
What's the first one?
So yeah, I got together a bunch of movies that I thought fit either romance or love or something like that, a couple, or it just was set on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And I paired them up in like themes almost. I had really a lot of fun doing it, and I specifically did this for our Valentine's Day hangout. But I had a classic love story, Bram Stoker's Dracula and Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I was close. I have seen Dracula. I have not. I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have not seen the original Phantom of the
No,
Opera.
it's the Robert Englund one.
Oh, let's start over and try that again because once again I wasn't paying attention.
A
But
classic
no, I
love
have seen
story,
that.
Bram
I'm kidding.
Stoker's Dracula. Not the original 1931 Bela Lugosi Dracula.
This this one.
The
Wait,
one
this
with like
Dracula.
Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah, I did. I have seen that one actually. I own that one,
Okay.
but I don't really remember it a whole lot. I think it wasn't too bad.
And
But
then 1989's Phantom of the Opera, the one with Robert Englund.
yes, I've seen that. Why'd you have
Okay.
to make this Why'd you have to pick like two movies with a million, adaptations?
I don't know.
To
Well, it's because it's a classic love story.
whatever, dude.
Uh,
Okay.
Kiss My Neck. Ouch. Which is Only Lovers Left Alive in Near Dark. You really could plug in most vampire films because they all deal with romance.
Yeah.
But I thought this sounds like Jeopardy titles. Kiss My Neck. Ouch. What is Only Lovers Left Alive and Near Dark?
I've never even heard of Only Lovers Left Alive, I don't think.
It's good. And then I'm Crazy in Love. Maniac and Maniac.
Yeah, both great
Yeah.
choices.
And then I Will Still Love You. I Will Still Love You Even When You're Dead. The Corpse of Anna Fritz and Dead Girl.
I've only seen Dead Girl. I did not really care for it back then, but upon revisit, I might enjoy it.
Neither of them are about love. They're just about having sex with dead bodies.
Yeah, so kind of love, like
Yeah.
one-ended love.
You Take My Heart. And that is Texas Chainsaw 2 and Hospital Massacre. Hospital Massacre, I think, is set on Valentine's Day. And Chainsaw 2 is got the Stretch and Leatherface connection going on.
Yeah, love me some TCM too.
Brides to Be with Bride of Chucky and Bride of Frankenstein.
There it is. Yeah, I've seen both of those. I
I'll
love
Love
Bride
You
of
When
Chucky.
You're Dead, but not in that way. Warm Bodies and Burying the Ex. Probably the one that I haven't seen either of those and really don't care to.
Me neither.
My favorite pick, Mac Daddy Love Brother, Vampire in Brooklyn, and Death by Temptation. Two blaxploitation-ish movies.
Yeah, I've never seen them. I never really felt, well, I don't really know about Death by Temptation, but the other one just never seemed like something I would want to watch.
This one I was hoping would win. Zombies in Love, Return of the Living Dead 3, and Cemetery Man.
Yeah, I've never seen RTOLD3, and I want to.
Yeah, me too. I like both of them a lot. And they both got really hot chicks in them. Both movies.
I said that wrong. ROTLD. Okay, go on.
ROTLD3.
Yeah.
A Troubled Marriage, Vacancy, and The Strangers.
Both good ones, but I did that on my other pod.
Freaky Love Connection, Species and Splice.
Never seen them.
They're both about like alien / creature human love. Teenage love. We have It Follows and Teeth. Teeth, I'm not sure necessarily fits. It kind of has like teen romance in it for a second, but it's like more coming of age. But I couldn't find anything to pair with It Follows.
Yeah.
Foreign Love, Audition, and High Tension, aka Switchblade Romance. I know how much you love that.
I hate it. It is very pretentious.
First Love, The Transfiguration and Let the Right One In. I thought that was like a really good pairing.
Yeah, it is. I always kind of compare those two together. Both
Mhm.
kind of, more on the depressing, bleak side of things, but both very good movies.
Yeah. Forbidden Love, Candyman, and Get Out.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I'll Love You in Hell, Hellraiser 1 and 2,
Hmm.
which are two of my favorites. That's what I actually voted for.
Yeah.
And then we have Take My Breath Away, Valentine and Lover's Lane, two Valentine's Day themed slashers. And then I'll Love You When You're Dead, Necromantic and Necromantic 2.
Yeah. I want to see those ones. I've never seen them.
Oh God, you would be in for a treat. And then I'll Love You Even If You Don't Love Me, The Loved Ones and Otis.
Both good ones.
I've never seen Otis, but I've seen The Loved Ones. And then the one that's winning right now, which I'm a little bummed for, I'm not going to lie, that's Art House Love Fest. And the reason I'm bummed is because it's Antichrist and Spring. Now, I love Spring and I would love to see it, but our Antichrist is... I just watched it, It's great, but I just watched it.
Yeah.
It was like the one film on the entire list that I didn't want to get picked.
Well, buddy, as I said, we can just ignore all the listeners and go with our own pick.
I kind of almost have a little bit of a backup plan in a way to get rid of Antichrist, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
Because there's another theme that could go with Spring. I just need to find something that fits with it. But yeah, so vote on that poll. If you guys would like, if you're listening and you're not a member of the group page, vote on it. It'll be up for another couple weeks because Valentine's Day is still pretty far away. But yeah, that's what and there's actually a film that comes out Valentine's Day weekend, so that won't be the main topic of the episode, but we will recap our Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
In great detail.
Yeah.
So,
wink, wink.
And yeah, so that is that. Hope you guys are interested in hearing us do two of those movies. And then, I guess it's time to get into our main event, our featured review.
But first, I have my own segment where I shall be reviewing the first adaptation of the story, The Turn of the Screw.
Yeah, and I was going to actually talk about the Turn of the Screw and give you an opportunity to review the adaptation that you watched.
Ooh.
I didn't forget. I think you thought I forgot.
Well, I mean, when you say, we're going to get into the feature review, I was scared
that's very fair.
You're
making a good point.
All right.
But yeah, so The Turn of the Screw is the film that the featured review here, if you will. The Turn of the Screw is the novella that it is based upon. So the Turn of the Screw is a 1898 horror novella by Henry James that first appeared in a serial format in Collier's Weekly Magazine, January 27th, April 16th, 1898. I cannot say 1898 when there's a 9 in it. I just want to say 1998.
Yeah.
It appeared in The Two Magics, a book published by Macmillan in New York City, and Heinemann in London, classified as both Gothic fiction and a ghost story. The novella focuses on a governess who, caring for two children at a remote estate, becomes convinced that the grounds are haunted. So, it says here that in the century following the publication, The Turn of the Screw became a cornerstone text of academics who subscribed to new criticism. The novella has had differing interpretations, often mutually exclusive. Many critics have determined or many critics have tried to determine the exact nature of the evil hinted at in the story. However, others have argued that the brilliance of the novella results from its ability to create intimate sense of confusion and suspense within the reader. The novella has been adapted numerous times in radio drama, film, stage, and television, including the 1958 Broadway play and the 1961 film The Innocents, which Carly actually watched in preparation for this very episode. So, what did you think of The Innocents?
Well, yes, much like all you said, the movie follows the story, I guess, pretty well. Obviously, I wanted to kind of read the actual story, but I just thought, like, I don't really have the time for all that, so I'll just watch the movie and that'll do it just. But it's the same thing, you know, a governess is hired to look after these two children, Flora and Miles. They are, you know, they're orphans, their parents have died, and their uncle's in charge of them, and she, you know, kind of has this interview at the beginning with him where he pretty much says, like, oh, I don't really feel like taking care of these kids in a very, you know, kind of roundabout way, and so they need, like, you know, some sort of figure to look after them. So they had one before, but she passed away. And so this woman is hired, and she goes there, and weird stuff starts to happen. At first, it's just Flora that she's supposed to be, you know, looking after, and Miles is away at boarding school. He's not supposed to be back till, I think, like the summertime, but they get a call from the school that he's being sent home, and you know, she's a little confused because when she meets Miles, he's a very pleasant young boy, much like Flora is, and, you know, just a very sweet kid, charming in a way, and it's just very confusing. And then she just starts, I forget what's her name, like Kate, I believe, or the main lady in the movie, I forget, sorry, I don't remember, but so weird stuff starts happening. She starts kind of seeing things going on around the house, and just the way the kids behave is a little off-putting. So she, you know, suspects something's going on, that the grounds might indeed be haunted. There's also I guess it's the cook who lives there as well. And there's actually some other people they mention, like a housekeeper and just groundskeeper, you know, people that tend to the house, but you don't really see them. You only see like this cook and her and then the kids. That's kind of your main four characters there. But yeah, you know, I went into this movie, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it because it is an old movie, 1961, of course. It is in black and white, and I do admittedly struggle sometimes getting into these older films. They tend to be a little bit slower and not a ton is always going on, but with this movie, I will say it does have its slow moments, but it's very, very good. It feels a little ahead of its time with just the creep factor. There's a lot of very creepy moments and just visuals with, like, the way they try to make these ghostly figures, I guess you can say. You know, it's not really any effects, just, like, what they do in the movie, they show you more than what you're used to, like in movies like The Haunting or House on Haunted Hill. You don't really see a ton going on. It's more like what you hear. In this movie, it gives you visual, so I appreciated that because it allowed me to get more into it, and I actually thought it was pretty creepy. There's also like this song that's being sung at the beginning, and it's pretty much a song from a jewelry box. You know how you open a jewelry box and there's like the dancing ballerina, and there's usually a song with it. The little girl Flora, she kind of sings it throughout the movie, and it's just incredibly eerie and really adds to the atmosphere of the film. The film just has a fantastic atmosphere, and like I said, it does feel a little bit slow at times, but that's kind of just of the times. I feel like it's not really a big miss with the movie for me, but overall, I really enjoyed it. You know, the kids I thought were actually really good actors, especially the boy, Miles. I thought he was really good kid actor. And, you know, I will mention, like, in this movie, Flora and Miles, they are very close in age. They look like they're probably 8 and 10 years old, which you kind of it's a little different in the new movie we're going to be talking about here, and I think that kind of makes a difference too. But there's actually a few, like, I think it's happens two times. There's like a shocking sort of kissing scene that I was like, wow, I can't believe that happened in this old movie, and it looks very real, and it's just weird and kind of awkward to watch. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. Ends a little abruptly. Once again, that's like a lot of movies back then kind of had that abrupt ending, but at the same time, I don't feel like the ending was a miss or anything like that. It wrapped everything up nicely and made sense. So, yeah, I give this movie 8.5 out of 10. Check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I've never seen that. I know it played at the Hollywood once when or was going to play at the Hollywood once when we first started going there, and I was kind of curious on it.
That sucks because that would have been really cool to see on in the theater.
I think we were just so busy. It was like October time.
Yeah.
So other film adaptations include obviously the Innocents 1961. That's the one you watched, right?
Yes.
Okay. There was a prequel to The Innocents that came out in 1972 called The Nightcomers, which I did not know.
Yeah, I saw that one looking it up, and I'm actually curious. I kind of want to check that out. It's weird. It's like came out 10 years after the fact, but I'm curious on it now.
Yeah, Rusty Lemorand's 1992 eponymous adaptation set in the 1960s. And then you have a Spanish language one from 1985, Presence of Mind from 1999, In a Dark Place from 2006, and The Others from 2001 are some other notable adaptations.
Yeah, I forgot. I wanted to mention too. This movie actually is, in a way, a period piece. I believe it's supposed to look like it's taking place in 1898 because, they use horse and buggy as transportation and just the way they're dressed. So that was pretty cool as well. But
as for television, there is one super notable show. 1968's Dark Shadows did a storyline based on Turn of the Screw. But also, the upcoming second season anthology series, The Haunting of Hill House, is actually doing their second season on the Turn of the Screw.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and that Haunting of Hill House is a very successful, popular show. Flanagan was involved in the first season.
Yeah.
I think he might be involved in the second season, too.
Nice. I've never watched it. I mean, I'm bad with TV shows, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into The Turning by... What the hell is her name?
Floria Sigismondi. Sigismondi. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. So The Turning, 2020. A young governess is hired by a man who has become responsible for his young nephew and niece after their parents' deaths. So yeah, same storyline. Once again, it's just a modern day adaptation of The Turn of the Screw, and starring, of course, Finn Wolfhard, I think is his name. Obviously, he's most notable for being in Stranger Things, as well as Richie in the new It movies. So, yeah, he's probably the most known actor, I would say, in this movie. And, yeah, so what did you think?
Hated it. You know what? I've been very nice this past decade, or at least like the past 3 years. Like, I feel like I've rated high for the past 3 years, but like, honestly, dude, I don't have time for this BS. Like, I watched this movie, and honestly, like, I think you were into it more than me. I didn't even really like it
to begin with.
Most people' main problem is the end. I didn't even like it before that.
Were you just like bored with it? I felt like you.
I was I don't think I was bored per se. I thought the casting was off. I really didn't find Kate likable at all, and I didn't feel like on her side at all. The only person in this entire movie that I actually liked and thought was a good performance was the little girl,
Hmm.
who is
Mm.
Flora.
Yeah, Flores. Yeah.
Brooklyn Prince. She did a really good job. Mackenzie Davis as Kate, I thought was miscast. I didn't think she was a likable person. Like, I wouldn't even have hired her to take care of my kids. She just didn't have, like, she instantly has beef with the kids. Like, you know what I mean? And she, like, as an audience, we could tell something's up here. But, like, she is instantly like kind of annoyed, and then she goes like, it's like she's wishy-washy. Like one moment, like she gets that call from the principal and she's like trying to cover up for him, and then the next minute like she's not like nice. And you could say that the kid's not nice, but it's just like, okay, but like you still have to put up with a certain amount of not niceness when you're like watching over kids that you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you mean, but I feel like she feels that it's her job to, she kind of goes into the job not realizing, like, obviously she's put in her place by the cook, but she goes into it kind of feeling like she's going to be the foster parent in a way to these kids, and I think she's just trying to be like, she's trying to like win their trust, but then, because yeah, in that scene where she covers up for the kid, then she's like, I think he has to go outside or something. And she's like, "Oh, well, why don't you, put your plate in the kitchen?" And then he kind of gets smart with her, and that's kind of why she's like turns on him. So to me, I don't know, that stuff kind of makes sense to me. It's like she's trying to be a bit of a parenting figure, but she's also trying to be cool with them at the same time so that they gain her trust.
Yeah, but I
So
feel like the cool part was like kind of BS, and then she, like, I understand in a regular like household, like where you know the kid or like you've been around them for a bunch, like you're just now meeting them. They're not gonna change the way you want them overnight, and you shouldn't even that shouldn't even be your, it's not even what you're hired for, to change who they are.
yeah, she's just trying to teach them like manners, though, I think.
I just don't feel like it's her place.
I guess. I mean, their parents are dead though, so it's like
I don't even know what a
that's
governess is. Is it a babysitter?
well, that was kind of the joke. She did make that joke in the movie. She was like, not since the 1800s. It's like yeah, I think it's pretty much an old-fashioned term for
Like a
caregiver, caretaker.
living caretaker,
Yeah,
like a glorified maid.
it's a very old word, which I almost feel like they shouldn't have even used that word in a modern take on the movie. But yeah, see, my problems are a little different, and I think watching The Innocents kind of both hurt this movie for me, but at the same time kind of helped it because it allowed me to be into the story from the beginning since I knew the story already. I was like kind of excited, like I wonder what they're gonna do with this. And when certain parts were happening, I remembered because a lot of it is actually surprisingly very similar to the original film. My issue really is the boy and the girl being far apart in age. Like he's clearly 15 or 16 years old, and then she's supposed to be like 8 years old or 9 or whatever. And that just kind of makes it less effective for me because it's like, not only that,
Yeah,
but
but
he's
that's
also,
not something you would ever know unless you saw the other one. Like I never considered that like them being apart in age to matter at all in this story.
yeah, to me, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Like maybe, I don't know how the actual story is, obviously, but in the original, there's like, kind of like that kissing thing I mentioned is like pretty effective because it's cringy because this little boy, I feel like you don't really understand the underlying story in this either, though. You kind of said
Well, I mean, I
like the
understand the
ghost part.
story. There was a guy who like took over the business when the parents died, and he was attacking or stalking the previous governess, and the kid was kind of close with him, but he was a bad influence, and then he disappeared, and she thinks that he's haunting them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I get it. I just think this movie's kind of dumb, honestly. It especially like when you factor in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the director said that she just wanted to be very ambiguous with everything and let audiences figure it out for themselves and didn't want to spoon feed stuff. But this movie has such a generic opening too. You probably forget the opening, but the film opens up with the previous governess on the run from.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of like ruins the ending in a way. It's bull is what it is. And it also is just the movie. It's very ineffective. Like, I feel like it's half baked. Like the dialogue between the governess and the kids, I feel, is only halfway developed. You have this very, very generic, like, oh, the kids are acting out and I'm here trying to do a good job, but you don't actually get any, like, you don't know her. Like, you don't know that, like, you just expect that she's there to do, like, a good job because that's what typically happens in movies. But you only know that because you've seen a bunch of movies where things like this happen. But you don't actually see anything that lets you know who this woman is, that lets you know that she was capable of doing this or that she has good intentions. You don't see anything other than she visits her mother who's mentally ill. That's it. But that doesn't tell me that she's a good person or a capable person. Like, why are you on her side? Just because she's there and she had an intention to teach him manners?
I mean, I think, yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of development. The whole thing with the mother, well, I thought it was annoying. That was kind of the only key that they were giving was, oh, her mother is mentally ill and she wishes she had a normal mother. So I feel like she was trying to be a good mother to these kids as kind of her own personal, redemption, I guess. Or
yeah, but she was a teacher. Isn't that an opportunity to give to be a mom? I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. But
I think it's just a job opportunity. I don't know.
Yeah, at the same time, I just think that I feel like this whole, like, we don't know enough about her. She's very unlikable looking.
I do agree with that.
Like, if she was my nanny, I would think she was a B. You know what I mean? Just because she just looks mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I don't get. I don't get, like, the whole end. It just is stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. I get what I kind of get what they're trying to go for, but it's just like, wow, really? In this movie? Like, why?
See, I don't, like, the whole end completely lost me there. I don't know. I was into it, honestly, up until the final act. Like I said, I feel like probably watching that.
Like, not to be a jerk, but, like, what were you into?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, watching the original movie, I think it let me appreciate the storyline, so I was kind of giving it a chance, and I just thought, like, oh, this might actually turn out to be decent, and, but, the problems I can't stand the cook lady, the lady who looks like she's 500 years old in this movie either. I hate how she's, like, a B.
Everybody's a B in this movie.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I hate Finn, whatever, Miles, I hate him too. Like, I hate how he's just acting like that right off the bat, because it takes away from any scariness, in my opinion. I think it would have been better if he was actually a sweet boy to begin with, and then, like, started, being a little shady and acting out a bit, because in this he just seems like a bratty teenage boy, really. It doesn't come off as like, oh, he's being haunted by a ghost.
I will say that his performance probably is decent because that's what he was trying to do, and it does come off effective.
Yeah.
But I just think everybody's annoying in this movie. Like Kate, like whenever the girl can't, like, doesn't want to leave the yard because she has like PTSD about her parents dying because she saw it happen. Uh, like they, like, why is Kate so hell bent on getting her to go outside the gate? Like the girl is like literally screaming bloody murder.
Because she wants her to face the fear, and it's not healthy to stay in your
It's
house and
not
yard your
healthy,
whole
but it's
life, you
also
know?
not healthy to traumatize a girl you just met. A little girl
Yeah,
you just met. You're not her mother. That's not a decision for you to make that early on. Like the scale in which she escalates to like I'm gonna take over these kids' life. It just doesn't fit with me. I wouldn't.
to me,
If you just met a little girl, would you do that to her?
I mean, personally, no, because I hate kids and I don't care enough, so I can't really speak on that. But I feel like I don't feel like it's completely unreasonable. I just think this woman's a little too ambitious, and she's like, I'm gonna go and make these kids' lives better. Their parents are dead. They're, alone in this house, so I'm gonna go and try to
the scene
change
was
them. And
just
I think,
the scene was just poorly designed. Like you could like she's like gunning it. Like just slow down and stop and like talk to her for a second. Like she's in the back seat like flipping out. Just stop the car and talk to her for a second and explain what you're trying to do. Like it just is that was a horrible scene. I hated that scene.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't have as big as a problem. I do know what you mean. It's like, because that's like a bad parenting technique in real life too, when you just kind of ignore your kid who's
Listen,
upset to try to make
no,
them
listen.
what?
I was throw you into the deep end of the pool, kid. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
parents were hardcore like that. Like, oh, you want to do this? Okay. You want to skip school? Okay, stay outside in the cold all day. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
my pap was very rough on me, and I understand that. My point is, this is not her parents. It doesn't
Yeah,
make sense. Like I'm all for, like, dude, like I told you, like my family would like tie me in blankets and stuff, and like, like do like really, like traumatic stuff to me, but they were my family, not some random human being that I just met.
yeah, dude,
I
I
think there's a
understand.
big difference. It just bugged me. I don't know. I kept rolling my eyes at this woman's actions and how she was like, okay, 1 minute I hate this kid, but the next minute I'm going to play flashlight tag with him.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, she's trying to get through to him. Like, yeah,
Is
she's gonna
she
vent.
though? I don't even think
Kind
she
of.
is by that point.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, dude. Like, I think she is. I do. I think because she took the job and she's like, well, I gotta stick this out. I don't want to be a quitter. So she keeps doing little gestures. Like, she buys him that CD, and then he's still being an a-hole to her after she tries to reach out to him about like his parents or no,
I just think
what's
it's
his
so
face.
bland, and it's just like, okay, I've seen this a million times. Like you're trying to win the affection of the bratty teen who doesn't want anything to do with you. It's just like lame and annoying. Like it's just nothing new. It's not done in any type of interesting way.
All right. Well, I will agree that the ending sucked. That was like when the ending credits rolled, I just sat there waiting for more movie to happen. I don't even remember like the ending happened in a blink of an eye. Literally, the way they filmed it just felt like they just like threw something at you and then the credits rolled. So I did not like that. I don't care about ambiguity or whatever. I don't understand the ending either. You said you understand it. I don't.
Yeah, I do. I just think that it's dumb.
Like I assume like I think I know what you're getting at. Obviously, I don't want to say it, but
I mean, there's not a concrete ending,
no.
but it's just
Like I
like
gotta like
I think I see what you could interpret it as,
mhm.
because you wouldn't do that ending if you weren't trying to leave it to say that. But dude, I honestly didn't like pretty much anything about this movie.
All right. Well, I so okay. Let's do ratings, I guess.
Okay, I gave it. I like The Grudge more than this.
That was actually what I was going to ask after we did ratings.
Yeah, this is the worst movie of the year that I've seen. out of the three. I just think it was a complete mess from top to bottom. Miscast. The only thing I liked was really the aesthetic of the house and the, the building and stuff like that. I found this movie a complete chore to get through. I was super bored. I wanted it to end. I didn't, I was like half entertained by like everything that was slightly entertaining was only like half it was just I just did not have fun with this. And by the end, once the end happened, it even made me more mad. I was just like, this movie sucked. Like, what is this woman thinking of? I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Holy F.
I talked myself down. I was at a 3. I talked myself down to a 2.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, The Grudge is still pretty awful. That one for me was just a mess. So I can't say.
Did you hear what you just did? You said that one for me was. That's the Grudge noise.
I grudged.
You did grudge noise.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, this one wasn't good. Like, I'm not saying it was a great movie. I just didn't think it was that bad. I agree it's miscasted, but I really don't have as huge of a problem with the leading girl as much as I do with, the kid and the cook and all that. Like, the little girl's fine too.
She was great. She did a good job. She's very likable.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
She was casted well. But yeah, I give this one a 5.5 out of 10.
That's
what?
I'm in shock.
Oh.
I'm not saying you can't feel that way, but I am surprised that you feel that way.
I've been feeling like I've been being came at twisted this entire
No, I'm
review.
like literally not doing that though. I am just like very like opinionated about this garbage movie.
I know you. I didn't realize you had this strong feelings.
Well,
I knew you didn't like it.
I've been trying to like not.
I know.
Lay out my full hand before we talk about it.
I know. Like I could. I could just tell you seemed silent the entire time, and then after we left the theater, you were pretty quiet on it, so I kind of knew that you didn't really like it. But, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just not the worst thing I've ever seen, I guess, and personally, I would rather watch this than that Grudge movie.
Given the option right now, I would much rather watch The Grudge again. Like, if you were like, you have to watch one of these right now, 100% The Grudge. No, I would never want to see this movie again, ever, ever, ever.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Don't worry, little guy, you don't have to.
It's horrible, horrible. And this year, don't even get me started on this year.
It's Dump Month.
Stop saying that.
Why?
You keep saying it's Dump Month every time we talk about movies.
You're all about well, I'm just telling you, you're all about them Dump Months.
Dude, please, for the love of God, Osgood Perkins, save January. Just please, buddy. I'm begging you.
I will be heartbroken, actually, if that movie is not good, because I think it looks fantastic by the previews, and it's one of my most anticipated movies of the year, even though it's, just at the start of the year. So I am expecting big things, or at least, just very good things, at least better than these first 3 movies with Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah. So, good old Osgood, I hope that you are good, because next week's Gretel and Hansel will be what we're covering. Yeah, honestly, I hated The Turning. I cannot wait to get The Turning's taste out of my mouth and watch something else. So that is, yeah, that's, that movie sucked.
Okay. I feel. No hate.
Like, you were like, so, what did you think? I was like, I hated it.
I know.
Thought I was exaggerating there, huh?
I thought you were gonna. No, I was shocked because you usually get into more elaborate thoughts than just I hated it
Just the
right off the
first thing
bat.
that I thought of. I was like, what did I hated it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's fantastic. I just think out of the three dump month movies we've gotten so far, it would be in the middle for
Yeah.
me.
I'm way much more liked Underwater.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. A lot of my issues were how I interpreted the characters
Hmm.
in the writing. You obviously interpreted it slightly different than I did,
Yeah.
because I found all of it annoying and contrived and bull, while you just didn't. So I think that like it's not egregiously bad in terms of like plot holes or anything like that. It's just, to me, I just could not get on board with a single thing that this lady wrote about.
Yeah, my main thing, I just couldn't stand the teenage boy and how it was just the typical angsty teen boy. Like I understand that it was supposed to be
Like,
like the
what the
haunting
hell did he
thing.
do? Just sit in that room with no TV or video game? Like, he's just sitting there with his stupid drum set, like, for a date? They don't go to school or anything? Like, what
He
the
got kicked out
hell?
of school.
I know, but, like, what the hell do they do? Like, it's weird. If this movie, honestly, they should have made this a period piece.
Yeah, I agree
It doesn't
actually.
fit. It doesn't even feel like they're in the same world, and I get it. They're, like, high class and, like, old school, but it's just like,
Like yeah, like that's why I said like calling her a governess and having this whole setup just isn't something that is typical, and it feels like it's supposed to be a period piece, but it's just not. So,
so it's
yeah,
boring.
I feel.
All right, so that is it for episode number 4. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next time with episode number 5, Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah.